This video is going to go over how to simplify exponent expressions that have the same base. So we're going to go over some rules for this skill and then also practice with some examples. So the first rule is that when two terms have the same base, but their exponents are different and they're being multiplied, you can add the exponents together, and the base will obviously stay the same. This also applies to division, except when they're getting divided, you subtract the exponents. Always the numerator minus the denominator. Anything to the 0th power equals 1, and when you have something to the negative power, it would be 1 over that term. So our first example is 2 to the 6th times 2 to the 5th times 2 to the 0th. 2 to the 0 is always just 1 because of our rule that we just learned. And then 2 to the 6th times 2 to the 5th, you would add the exponents, so you would just get 2 to the 11th. 2 to the 11th times 1 would obviously just be 2 to the 11th. And then our next one is 5 cubed divided by 5 to the 9th. And you know that when they're dividing, you have to subtract the exponents, top minus the bottom, so you get 5 to the negative 6th power. However, you can't leave it as a negative exponent, so to simplify that, it would be 1 over 5 to the 6th. That's how you would make the negative exponent a positive one. And that's your final answer. The next one is very easy. You have to first simplify the coefficients. So 6 divided by 2 is obviously just 3. And then here you are dividing the exponents. I know it's a little bit hard to see right now, but there we go. You just have to subtract 9 minus 7 to get 3x squared as your final answer. Here, I know it seems a little complicated, but our rule is that if anything is raised to the 0th power, it just equals 1. So you could have some huge complex number, but if it's raised to the 0th power, it'll always equal 1. And then our next one is another fraction. 15 divided by 25 is obviously just 3 over 5. And then we actually get to our exponents, so 5 minus 3, since you're dividing, is just a squared, or a to the 2nd power. And then this one, since you're dividing b squared divided by b cubed, you would get b to the negative 1. So that is for your b exponent. And then c to the 4th divided by c to the 4th would obviously just be 1 because you're dividing by the same thing. So to simplify this, you would have to bring the b to the 1st power down in the denominator to make it a positive exponent. And b to the 1st power is the same thing as just b. So that is your final answer. And you can see it is as simplified as it's going to get, so that is the answer for that one. Here, 2 to the 10th obviously simplifies to 1/5. A to the 7th divided by a to the 9th is going to get you a to the negative 2nd power. And then b cubed divided by b cubed is just going to equal 1, because again, it's just going to be divided by itself. And then to simplify it, you would have 1 over 5 and bring the a squared down to simplify the negative exponent into a positive one. And that's it. That's all you have to do to simplify exponent expressions.